Banana follow you, paparazzi follow you, cause I'm in love with you. Yeah, are you done talking? Tell me, baby, are you done talking? Yeah. Are you done talking? Tell me, baby, are you done talking? Yeah. Are you done talking? Tell me, baby, are you done talking? Yeah. Are you done talking? Tell me, baby, are you done talking? Yeah. I don't wanna be a player no more. Yeah. I don't wanna be a player no more. Cause my guys call me Cristiano, Mr. Ronaldo, I'm on Nintendo.
I need everybody to get their best salsa moves out here.
DJ Ray.
All right, let's go. One time. I know you know this one.
Todo aquel que piense que la vida es desigual, tiene que saber que no es así, que la vida es una hermosura, hay que vivirla. Todo aquel que piense que está solo y que está mal, tiene que
Jasmine, I know you know how to do this. Come on, let me see your best moves out there. Hey.
siempre ella tiene. Báilame como si fuera la última y enséñame ese pasito que no sé, un besito bien suavecito, bebé. Taqui, 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 rum.
I see Carmen in there. Octavia, I see you, Francis. Hey.
Báilame como si fuera la última vez y enséñame ese pasito que no sé, un besito bien suavecito, bebé. Taqui, 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 taqui. Dale un besito a un aquí, una flota como Nagasaki. Prende los motores de Kawasaki, en la discota Jenny llegaron los Anunnaki, no le baje. El pony sobresale de tu traje, no trajo panticito pa' que el nene no trabaje. Y no me sé lo que ella cree que ya se sabe, cuenta que no quiere pero me tiene espionaje. El pony sobresale de tu traje, no trajo panticito pa' que el nene no trabaje. Y yo me sé lo que ella cree que ya se sabe, cuenta que no quiere pero me tiene espionaje. Báilame como si fuera la última vez y enséñame ese pasito que no sé, un besito bien suavecito, bebé. Taqui, 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 rum.
One more question. Who's next? Hey.
Who's next? Who's next? Who's next?
You guys know how to do this dance? Hey. I love this song.
This is that ice cold
Hey,
Michelle
let's
fight
go.
for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpiece. Styling, wildin', living it up in the city.
We got a lot of masterpieces in here today. I see you.
I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band about that.
This part, y'all ready?
Girl, sent you hallelujah. Sent you hallelujah. Sent you hallelujah.
That's my favorite part. Let's go, let's go. Friday night and we in the spot.
Leave me just watch. Don't believe me, just watch.
believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Hey, hey, hey.
I'm ready to turn up a little bit more, ladies. I'm ready to turn up a little bit more. We gotta get a little turned up. Let's go. Hey. Get out your seats, y'all. Get out your seats. Let's go. Welcome, Barbara.
So I can microphone because I get stupid. I mean outrageous. Stay away from me if you're contagious. Cause I'm a winner. No, not a loser. To be an MC is what I choose. Ladies love me. Girls adore me. I mean, even the ones who never saw me. Like the way that I rhyme at a show.
I am super excited about this program tonight. All you ladies are in a wonderful treat tonight. Let's go.
Shake that thing, miss. Can I shake that thing, miss? And I better shake that thing.
I'm trying to get everybody to shake this thing off. Hey, it's Friday. It's Friday night. Let's shake it off, ladies. Shake it off. Woo!
Shake that thing, do this and Rebecca. Come on, get busy. Just say that good enough stop when the beat drop. Just keep singing it, get jiggy. Get drunk, up, percolate anything you want because oscillate if I don't take it. Want to see you get life on the rhythm of my ride and my lyrics up about electricity. Girl, nobody can do you nothing because you don't know your destiny. Yo, sexy ladies, walk with us. In the car with us, and now war with us. In the complex with us, to get next with us, and now vex with us. From the day my bond, ignite my flame. Girl, call my name, and it is for fame. It's all good, girl, turn me on till I earn them on. Let's get it on, let's get it on till I earn them on. Girl, it's all good, just turn me on. Girl, don't sweat it, don't get agitated. Girl, go and rotate, cause anything you want, you know you must get it. From the day my mention, don't ease attention. Girl, run the program, just walk with it. Yo, have a good time, girl, free up on the mind. Cause nobody can't get them all folded it. Cause you are the number one, girl, wave your hand, let them see the wedding band. Yo, sexy ladies want far with us. In the car with us, and now war with us. In the club, them want flex with us. To get next to us, and now vex with us. From the day my bond, ignite my flame. Girl, call my name, and it is for fame. It's all good, girl, turn me on till I earn them on. Let's get it on, let's get it on till I earn them on. Girl, it's all good, just turn me on. Get it, just say that good enough. When the beat drop, just get it.
Don't care if I whine on you.
All right, we're on my selfies. Where my islanders at?
Make sure you waistline it back down. Don't care if I whine on you. I want you start whining
Where's all my islanders at? Okay, Activity, I see you,
make sure
baby.
you waistline it back down. We having a time this year. Every line we get.
We couldn't have Carnival this year. I got you, ladies.
In that now. Look well, woman everywhere. It's the born I never miss one yet. It's sunshine in a dripping sweat. Thunderstorm and a soaking wet. They say, Mr. Pet, you're mad. And I say, Mr. Pet, you're mad. I come here to get on bad. Petting is the name. We don't play. We go in night and day. No pet get away. We come in again. Every day. We full of energy. It's like they calling away. Like that is the name. Don't care if I whine on you. I want you start whining back. When the music starts to flow, make sure you waistline it back now. Don't care if I whine on you. I want you start whining back. When the music starts to flow, make sure you waistline it back now. So when they say shut it down, here we one more song.
Ladies.
We still going strong and
I hope
drinking
you're all
away.
warmed up.
Next day if we head still hurt.
I hope you're all warmed up for this next one, okay?
Thinking up and betting again. They call me Mr. Pet.
I got a good one for you, ladies.
Sunshine in a dripping sweat. Thunderstorm and a soaking wet. They say Mr. Pet, you're mad.
All right.
And I say Mr. Pet, you're mad.
I need everybody to prepare for this one, all right, ladies?
You make me wanna.
Ladies!
Jump all over this place. I want to bend my waist. Jumping up and down, even on the ground. Jumping in the bar, I'm raising the high.
Sing it loud, ladies! Hey!
What a song sweet. Oh, na, na, na. Time to start the session. Time to celebrate. One love in the region. Strict
carnival mode. I'm still in carnival mode. Y'all with me? They were not kidding when they said, here comes the boom, y'all. Let's go.
Carnival and TNT is so special to all our way. Like we need blood and breathing. That's how we feel about all the pain. Everybody them coming down, then running up and go jumping, madness everywhere. Carnival is just to freedom. They can go to our joyful jump and jump up in the air. So everybody take a jump, take a jump, take a jump up now. Start the wave, start the wave, start the wave up now. Start the wine, start the wine, start the wine up now because it's carnival. All the happiness that's a done, feeling so vagabond is madness everywhere. Fighting on that instant, welcome one and jump up in the air. So everybody take a jump, take a jump, take a jump up now. Start the wave, start the wave, start the wave up now. Start the wine, start the wine, start the wine up now because
I did not forget about my Haitians here.
Excusez-moi, oui, Clef.
I did not forget about my Haitians. Hey. We having a party tonight. It's Friday night. Welcome everybody. Hey.
I'ma take you to a place with the trouble in the bass, where everybody's fine and there's no color line. The only thing we see is party by the sea. So y'all call us refugees. So join us on the
If you come from the Caribbean, let's show them how we do it. Throw your flag in the air and wave the tape. Why and shake and break it.
All right, I know y'all know this one. Let's go. Hey. We got Trinice in here. We got it. Okay. We got Carmen Marie, Sandra in here. Samantha. All right, so here's this one. Now, I know y'all was probably waiting for this one, huh? Ladies, I am so hot. Let's go.
DJ Riri.
Hey, welcome. If you're just coming in, welcome, join the party. My name is DJ Riri from Miami. Let's go. Here comes the boom. Here comes all my beautiful ladies. We're gonna start soon. Right now we're having a party. Take all the week off right now. Shake it off. You still rocking with me, Kaylee? Octavia, you jamming, girl. Let's go. Hey.
I mean, you've been doing it.
I love it, man. I love this stuff. I love being here with you ladies. It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me know when you want me to stop because I could go all night.
I mean, I'm about to, you know, I'm jumping in. We doing this like we used to do back in the day, a little double dutch. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom,
Hey,
boom.
hey,
you know what I'm saying?
get it.
Come on, interpreter. How I do that? Boom. Let me see that
Hey.
again.
Hey,
Boom. Thank
yes,
you so much.
I love it.
DJ
I love the
Reese.
energy. Amazing.
Thank you so much. You brought this energy.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You really started us off real with a bang bang. I really appreciate this. Everybody that's here, everybody that is here. My name is Octavia Yearwood. I am your host, and I am more than excited to be here for our 2020 Here Comes the Boom. We are here to celebrate and appreciate Black women while we strategize and build together. So are y'all ready? I hope you are, because we getting it popping. If you notice, I gave a little shout out to our interpreter when I came in, because I've been watching our interpreter do their thing. And it's been amazing. And I don't know if y'all were able to see me when the music was on, but I was able to sing the songs in Creole, sing the songs that are in Spanish, sing the songs that are in English, American English, and even sing some of the Caribbean songs, because language is the one thing that can be either divisive or bring us together in a way that is unstoppable. And the way in which we are using language here today is language justice, okay? So we want everybody to have it accessible to them. So I want to make sure that every space has what they need. And Marb, our interpreter, is going to guide us through some really important things to remember during our time together. So come on in, Marb. Let them know what's good.
Bonsoir tout le monde, encore bienvenue sous mes explosions. Here Comes the Boom, Assemblée. Et non, moi, c'est Rose Nicholson. Moi, c'est un interprète anglais, créole, avec Marb Language Services. Avant toute parole, nous voulons prendre un petit moment pour nous honorer langue et originale indigène yo parlé sous terre, comme faut que nous reconnaître que terre ça, c'est un terre qui yo été colonisé. Et langue ça yo été effacée avec violence, colonisation. Et puis tout, nous voulons honorer langue indigène qui existait toujours aujourd'hui pour yo ka continuer résister. Et puis pour nous jouer une façon pour nous capable rendre yo service, pour yo arriver plus loin et pour yo vinn gain prospérité. Nous reconnaître toute langue qui présent ici la jeudi. Here Comes the Boom, c'est une assemblée pour femmes, jeunes filles avec femmes qui gain couleur foncé yo dans toute ethnicité dans communauté Sud Floride. Dans une justice pour langue, Pour nous capable, nous prenons l'interprétation dans la langue si américain, ESL, sous écran, nous avons regardé, nous avons fait traduction. Nous prenons l'interprétation tout en créole, sous ligne téléphone, les nous relais 305 928 76 11. Et en espagnol tout, les nous relais 305 707 59 58. Pour qui ça c'est important? Nous communiquer à travers langue. Quitte nous moyen, quitte nous fait signe avec main nous, ou soit nous utiliser mots pour nous communiquer. Et puis, nous devons communiquer pour nous demander justice sociale et égalité pour tout le monde. Justice pour langue permet nous, tout le monde, sentir yo invité dans une conversation importante qui pourra avoir un impact sur la famille nous et la communauté nous. Justice pour langue, c'est droit nous pour nous exprimer tête nous avec liberté, avec franchise, de propre façon pas nous. Il y a seulement 38 ans depuis que yo te pini élève en Haïti. Parfois, parce que y a pas les créoles dans l'école là. Je dis pas les créoles dans l'espace ça, c'est un acte radical de résistance lié. Et il représente langue libération noire. Interprétation, c'est un pile élément qui baille accès égal à même espace là, à même information dans temps réel. C'est une communion, une expérience qui partagée ensemble avec tout le monde. Alors, moi j'ai une invitation pour vous, un défi. Pendant que vous faites expérience Here Comes the Boom là, et puis vous sentez inspiré par puissance espace là. Pensez à un monde dans la vie qui peut peut-être parler anglais tout petit, ou soit qui peut parler anglais, qui pas parler anglais du tout. Mais qui parle créole, ou soit qui parle espagnol. Prends un engagement pour inviter moun sa, pour lui venir dans la session Here Comes the Boom nan, demain. Et puis, nous ka vin prendre connaissance pour nous capables de bon gens apprendre avec guérison ensemble. Songez que pour changer communauté ou là, c'est ou même qui gagne. Donc encore, numéro pour nous tendre, pour nous participer en créole, t'en prie les 305 928 76 11. Pour participer en espagnol, t'en prie les 305 707 59 58. Et gagnez tout ASL, ESL, app disponible sous écran noir pour nous faire signe parole. Merci et nous souhaitons belle expérience jeudi.
Thank you so.
Thank you, Octavia. Gracias, Rose. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María Angélica, mis pronombres son ella, ellex, mi colega Rose, sus pronombres son ella es intérprete de criollo haitiano e inglés, yo soy intérprete de español e inglés y somos parte del equipo de MARB Language Services. Primero que todo, queremos reconocer que estamos en tierra robada. Queremos tomar este momento para honrar los idiomas indígenas originales que fueron hablados aquí y que fueron borrados por la violencia de la colonización, y también los idiomas indígenas que aún existen hoy en día, deseando que continúen resistiendo y que nosotros encontremos una forma en la que podamos ponernos a servicio de ellos, más allá de su supervivencia, para que estos idiomas indígenas sigan floreciendo y prosperen. También reconocemos a cada uno de los idiomas que están presentes hoy en día. Hola. Aquí viene el Boom, es una asamblea de empoderamiento dedicada a las mujeres, niñas y femmes negres de todas las etnias de las comunidades del sur de la Florida. En nombre de la justicia del lenguaje, se ofrecerá interpretación en lengua de signos americano, en la pantalla, en criollo haitiano, llamando al 305-928-7611, y en español, llamando al 305-707-5958. ¿Por qué esto es importante? Nos comunicamos a través del lenguaje, ya sea tocando, haciendo señas o usando palabras para comunicarnos. Y debemos comunicarnos para exigir justicia social e igualdad para todos. La justicia del lenguaje permite que todos nos sintamos invitados a las conversaciones importantes que impactarán a nuestras familias y a nuestras comunidades. La justicia del lenguaje es nuestro derecho a expresarnos libremente, con franqueza y a nuestra manera. Hace apenas 38 años, los estudiantes en Haití eran a veces castigados por hablar en criollo haitiano en su escuela. Hoy en día, hablar en criollo haitiano en este espacio es un acto radical de resistencia y liberación. La interpretación es uno de los muchos elementos que proporcionan un acceso igual al mismo espacio y a la información en tiempo real. Es una comunión, una experiencia compartida. Así que les tengo una invitación, un desafío. A medida que experimentan Aquí viene el boom y se sienten inspirados por este poderoso espacio, les invito a que piensen en una persona en su vida a quien puedan invitar. Tal vez es una persona que no habla inglés o habla un poco de inglés. Tal vez habla criollo haitiano o español. Hagan una promesa hoy que van a invitar a una persona a la sesión de mañana de Aquí viene el boom que no habla inglés. Y vamos a compartir el pan del conocimiento, la sabiduría y la sanación juntos. Recuerden que el poder de cambiar a nuestra comunidad yace en nosotros. Nuevamente, para participar en criollo haitiano, por favor llamen al 305-928-7611 y para participar en español, llamen al 305-707-5958. La lengua de signos americana estará disponible en la pantalla. Gracias y les deseamos una experiencia maravillosa. Venant.
We need access to the video. My name is Venant Stenbach. I am a Creole English interpreter with the MARB Language Services. First and foremost, we want to acknowledge that we are standing on colonized land. We want to take a moment to honor the original indigenous languages spoken here that were erased by the violence of colonization and the indigenous languages that still exist today. May they continue resisting. And may we find a way in which we can be of service to them beyond their survival and into their thriving. We also acknowledge every language that is present here today. Here Comes the Boom is an empowering assembly dedicated to women, girls, and femmes of color of all ethnicities in the South Florida communities. In the name of language justice, interpretation will be provided in American Sign Language, ASL, on screen, in Creole by calling 305-928-7611, and in Spanish by calling 305-707-5958. Why is this important? We communicate through language, whether we touch, sign, or use words to communicate. And we must communicate to demand social justice and equality for all. Language justice allows everyone to feel invited to the important conversations that will impact our families and our communities. Language justice is a right to express ourselves freely, frankly, in our own way. It was only 38 years ago that students in Haiti were sometimes punished for speaking Creole at school. Today, speaking Creole in this space is a radical act of resistance and liberation. Interpretation is one of the many elements that provides equal access to the same space and information in real time. It is a communion, a shared experience. So, I have an invitation for you, a challenge. As you experience Here Comes the Boom and feel inspired by this powerful space, think of someone in your life who may speak little or no English, but speak Creole or Spanish. Pledge to invite that person to tomorrow's Here Comes the Boom session, and let's break the bread of knowledge, wisdom, and healing together. Remember that the power to change your community rests with you. Again, to participate in Creole, please call 305-928-7611. To participate in Spanish, please call 305-707-5958. ASL will be available on the screen as well. Thank you, and we wish you a wonderful experience.
Amazing. That was great. Thank you all so much for that. I hope that anyone who needs it, make sure they utilize. And our ASL person on the screen, I really recommend y'all check her out and start to learn some things. You know what I'm saying? I saw this right here. I know you can't tell me what it means because you can only show me what it means. But I think you said turn up was this. Was this turn up? Let me see, turn up. Turn up. Hey, turn up. Let's get it. All right now we're going to get into why we are here. Let's get this party started with a little bit of a throwback and an introduction to Here Comes the Boom. All right, I think that they may, okay, we bring it back for some sounds, you know what I'm saying, playing that back. So let's. You know, for as much as the Zoom stock has gone up, I mean, I would think they would have this, the platform. I need y'all to upgrade it, okay? Upgrade it. All right. What is capitalism good for? What are you using the money for? What are you doing? Just trying to understand. But that video is going to obviously show you what we did last year. And some of the folks that are in that video, you'll also see in our programming over the next 2 days, well, the next 1.5 days. A lot of amazing people. Wakumi. Actually, I think that this would be a good time in the interim of them perhaps sorting that out to share some of our sponsors, because Wakumi, who was in Here Comes the Boom last year, her organization, the Soul Sister Leadership Collective, is one of our sponsors for Here Comes the Boom 2020, along with Organized Florida, the Miami Workers Center, the Rising Tide, South Florida People of Color, Florida Immigration Coalition, Latina Institute for Reproductive Justice in Florida, New Florida Majority. Who else do we have here? The Women's March Florida, Power U Center for Social Change. Shout out to Power U. The Florida Alliance of Planned Parenthoods, Catalyst Miami, and the ACLU Florida. And shout out to the ACLU Florida. I have to slow it on down. I be forgetting. Our interpreters need me to not use my New York City language to speak. You know, New York, you know us New Yorkers, we be rolling, we be rocking. I know that we had a situation with our other video. Are we going to move on with our intro video with Santra? If not, perhaps we'll be going on to our next thing to start our opening. So I'll say, we'll just start our opening because hello, Black women are beautiful and we've created this space for all of us. And so to celebrate that joy, to celebrate that resistance, that struggle, and to look damn good doing it, because you know we know how to look good doing it. Oh, I saw someone coming in here. But we can't have any of this without grounding ourselves and giving ourselves purpose, making sure that we tapping into our ancestry and everything and everyone that has brought us into this moment. So I'm going to turn this over to Ruth John Noel, who is going to ground us in this moment, in this space. I'm looking forward to this. How are you? I see you came in looking all good like you do. I feel you.
Ashe. Greetings, greetings. It's so good to be here with everyone. Welcome, and thank you for inviting me. Of course, we've been doing this organizing for a long time here, and so it's always beautiful to be home and be home with family. So my name is Ruth Jean-Noel, or Jean Noel, who can't pronounce the Haitian or French accent. I want to just thank you all for allowing me to be here. And also I set up an altar for us for this weekend. So I also want to share it. Do y'all hear me okay? All right. So first off, just wanted to bring the computer a little bit closer. We have here altar that I set up for us for today and for tomorrow, just for our time for this weekend, to invite our ancestors and those who have come before us to be with us, right? And to help to continue to be our backbone as we do this work. So we have on the altar, of course, we have a candle representing the fire and the wind, the element of water, and the element of a plant. And then I did bring, of course, you know, Aitino Kaila. Haitians are in the house, so I brought one of my favorite paintings of the Haitian women in a marketplace. It's a painting from Haiti that I wanted to bring, especially as we're talking about Black women and Femmes today, how important it is to honor our ancestors and the legacy that has come before us. So thank you, everyone. So tonight I come on behalf of Femsage. Femsage is, in Haitian Creole, we'll say Femsage is means midwife. And so what we'll say is midwives catch babies, and Femsage, we catch communities. And so how we do that is we allow and create space for cultural growth, spiritual growth, in a way to connect justice, right, with healing, and connecting healing, justice, and making sure that people have tools to be able to take care of themselves, their families, and their communities. And I come also as a mother of two carefree Black girls, Jazzy and Jada. And I am in love with any movement that will elevate Black women and femme identified, gender nonconforming youth, because I'm raising them. And so how beautiful is it to expect freedom, not just like to dream of it, right? But to practice freedom now and with them. And so today I've come to share one of a cultural practice tool that we have, which is called libations. And so pouring libations, it's basically like paying respect to those who are no longer here in the physical way. And so sometimes, many times, we'll lose people, whether they're in our immediate family, and they will transition and go to a different realm. And so we pour libations and we pay homage to those ancestors, because in a lot of ways, those ancestors are spirits that are just like us, still walking on this earth and elevating, right? Just as we are here to elevate our consciousness, these spirits and these ancestors are also here to elevate. And so that's going to be the practice that we do today. And so I invite you, if wherever you are, I invite you to just take a deep breath, right? And just exhale that out. So you can use the chat, you can use, if you're on Facebook, wherever it is that you're watching, or even in your heart, right? Just bringing in that ancestor that you know for yourself that you're walking with, right? Who is that ancestor that you're walking with and that walks with you and that does this work with you? So before we pour libations, we pay homage. So we pay homage to the ancestors in the East, the South, the North, and the West. We pay homage to our ancestors that sit at the crossroad. We pay homage to the ancestors of the sweet water. We pay homage to the ancestors that sit at the salt water. We pay homage to the ancestors that govern the fire and the ancestors that govern the wind. We pay homage to the ancestors that govern the land. We pay homage to the ancestors that elevate our consciousness and gives us wisdom. Ashe. We pay homage to those ancestors that have walked in and gone through and traveled through the transatlantic slave trade, to those who lay at the bottom of the ocean. We pay homage to those who have come before us, who have laid the groundwork for us. We pay homage to all of our ancestors. And we call on the spirits of the Maroons. We call on the spirits of the women whose bodies were captured and brought to stolen land. And so when we pay homage, we pour libations. And for those who are new, libations can be used. You can use libations with water. You can use libations with gin, with honey, with any really condiment to really show gratitude to the ancestors. And so in our practice, we'll pour libations into the earth. And so the plant that is on our altar is the representation of the earth. And then for those who are new at pouring libations, just want to thank you and welcome you for respecting this particular ancestral tradition. And so before we begin the pouring of libations, just want to give some direction, right? So basically I will call on the name of the ancestors, particularly those in our direct lineage, those who walk and fight with us. And we pour libations into this plant here. To those who have also lost their lives to state violence. May the libations that we pour elevate their spirit into the light. Ashe. And so after each name, I will say Ashe, which is simply an affirmation of the West African Yoruba language, meaning it is so. Ashe. So let us begin. So I will start with my own ancestors. And so I invite you all to use the chat to invite your own ancestors too. And then I will say Ashe. All right, let us begin. I'll bring us closer to the altar. So I call on the spirits of my own ancestors, Gunfilo, Ashe, Papa Fene, Ashe, Toussaint Louverture, Ashe, Cécile Fatima, Ashe, Harriet Tubman, Ashe, Ella Baker, Ashe, Malcolm X, Ashe, Martin Luther King, Ashe, Trayvon Martin. Ashe. Michael Brown. Ashe. Sandra Bland. Ashe. George Floyd. Ashe. Breonna Taylor. Ashe. To the millions more at sea and to the thousands lost, even in the midst of this pandemic, we say Ashe. To all of our ancestors, known and unknown, we say Ashe. May the patriarchy, capitalism, and white supremacy crumble into pieces, and may all Black people, women, femmes, identified folks reach and fulfill their truest destiny and not only dream of freedom, but live it now. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-o. Ashe. So with that, I would like to welcome you all, and that is our opening for Here Comes the Boom 2020. Ashe.
That was amazing. That was amazing. I feel really blessed. I'm always feeling blessed whenever I'm able to give libations. If y'all have altars in your home, I would definitely suggest that. And tell us how you're feeling in the chat. Drop us a little chat in the bottom. Right now, we are going to transition into some videos for you all. And then we'll be back with the queen herself, Jasmine Rogers. So let's get it, y'all.
Women and Black girls have shown up to save this country from itself. And in 2018 and beyond, we are unapologetically flexing our power to change the outcomes for the women and girls that hold this state together. Our Black girls deserve dignity in the public school system. Our poor Black elders deserve affordable housing. Our pregnant Black mothers deserve dignity in their choices regarding their wombs. Our queer and trans Black women deserve to exist free from harassment and discrimination. Domestic workers deserve protection for their wages. Prioritize us and our humanity with every single law you pass. The only question left, are you ready? Because all 2018 and 2020 and 2022, here comes the boom.
Welcome to Here Comes the Boom. My name is Sandra Dennis, and I'm with the Miami Workers Center. What a year 2020 has been. From the COVID-19 pandemic to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, we've been through a lot. And this is why we thought it necessary to host Here Comes the Boom, the second edition. Many organizations have come together to put on this amazing assembly. It is for and by Black women. You can expect to experience wellness, performances from your favorite artists, conversations about politics and pleasure. Everything you're looking for, you can find in this assembly. This is for you, this is for us. So get excited, grab your water, tea, tequila, Haitian rum, whatever you need, because we will see freedom in our lifetime. Here comes the boom. Boom, dynamite.
Black women are dynamite.
And when you mess with dynamite,
it goes tick, 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 tick,
tick, tick, tick, tick,
boom.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us at Here Comes the Boom 2020. This is the second time that we're doing this. We've been planning and building over the past 3 years across thousands of Black women, Black girls, Black femmes, centering the Black femme experience. And we're so excited to have y'all here tonight. I just realized that it looks like I'm naked, but I'm not. I'm wearing my Chic Imprints top. So go over to the marketplace and shop with Kemi at Chic Imprints. She's giving discounts tonight for everybody that's attending Here Comes the Boom. And before I put my clothes on, I lathered up with my May Rain Shea Butter, Love Again, from head to toe, hair all the way to the toes. So make sure you're going over and supporting our Black women vendors that are on the website, herecomes.theboom.org, and then click on Marketplace. We're gonna be announcing some other really cool giveaways and discounts from our vendors. Support Black businesses, support Black women-owned businesses. But in this moment, we want to hear from you. In 2020, we have a survey that we want y'all to participate in. The code is going to pop up on the screen in just a second. And we need you to pull out your phone and you're going to type in the code at menti.com. It's MENTI.com. And we have a couple questions for you, just so we know where everybody's calling from. Or not calling, but you know. Let's see. Do we have our code ready? All right, well, let me see. I'm gonna stall until we get the code. Here we go. All right, so the first question that we have, we're in a virtual space. The last time we had 300 people from across the state of Florida that joined us. And this time folks from all over the world can join us. So go to menti.com and type in the code 5288870. That's 5288870. And tell us where you're from. Where are you watching from? It could be your bedroom, could be another country. What city are you in? And the answers are gonna pop up on the screen. All right, we have Miami. Where else are folks coming from? Okay, Washington, DC. The living room, that's good. All right, all right. Okay, more Miami. And folks will see that as more people type in the same word, it gets bigger on the screen. So we have a lot of folks coming in from Miami and watching. All right, do we have anybody else? All right, Kissimmee, office, home. Okay, there's the Tallahassee person, the crib, Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale. Okay. More living rooms, that's good, Fort Lauderdale. All right, so we got folks from all across the country that are here. Wakanda. That's good. Wakanda makes us global, so that's good. Global and Afrofuturistic. The island, that's my bed. This is real good, real good. Okay, so we have folks from everywhere. 2020 has provided us a really interesting place and a really interesting way to communicate with each other. So I'm so glad that we're able to have Here Comes a Boom in all different parts of the United States. In such a time as this, and have folks listening to our message. So we have another question for you. Sharika, we can go to question number 2. All right, so who are you? Oh, we skipped one. All right, who are you? So we want to know who's in the space with us. Now we know where you're from, where you're watching from. Who are you? Are you mother, sister, worker? Are you queer? Are you questioning? Who are you in the world? What do you identify as? What's important to you? Who are you? activist. All right, let's see what else we have. Queer. A queer goddess, that's good. A mother. This is good. Okay, keep them coming, folks. All right, world changer, a lover, artist, healer, wife, champion, dancer, a creator. Okay, sister, I too am a sister. All right, more goddess, dancers, okay? We have some mothers that are joining us, a good amount of queer folks and lovers, daughters, wives, friends, a humanist, okay, a warrior of light. Thank y'all so much. Non-binary, mentally ill, yes, granddaughter, educator, listener, dancer. Thank you all for participating. It looks like we have a lot of moms in this space. I appreciate that. For all the folks that are giving birth, for all the folks that are mothering, we appreciate you. We see you. Okay. All right. So our next question. Thank you all for doing that. Where are you from? So we know that this question is different than where are you right now, but where are you from? And for some people, that means where were you born? For other people, it's your lineage. For other people, it's your ancestors, your people. But where are you from? Let's see what we got. Okay, Nigeria, Haiti, Bahamas, Benin, Alkebulan, okay. Lauderdale, we see you. The South, okay. Jamaica, more Fort Lauderdale. I see the Fort Lauderdale Leans don't know how to act in the chat. That's good. I might be from Barbados, the Caribbean. Okay. New York, Atlanta, South Florida, Cuba, my ancestors' dreams, Panama, Pensacola, Jamaica. All right, Brooklyn, we see you. Haitian folks are strong in here. Puerto Rican is here. All right. So the Caribbean is strong. South Florida is strong. All right. We got some that are sideways. Martinique. Okay. Yay area, California. Thank you all so much for this. So we've got folks globally that are here and bringing their identities, bringing their perspectives into this conversation. And that's why this space, again, is so important. So our last question, one more for you, and you'll see it change on your screen too. Our last question is going to be, who are you bringing into this space with you today? So we just got grounded with libations and at the altar with Ruth. We have so much gratitude for that space. Who are you bringing with you? So in our next day and a half together, we're going to have a lot of conversations about a lot of different things. Who's on your shoulders? Whose shoulders are you standing on? Who are you bringing into this space? This is good. This is good. All right, we have grandmas here. We have ancestors. There's a Jasmine here. My amazing partner. This is good. Who else are we bringing into this space with us? My whole self. Yes, that resonates. That's exactly what this space is for the Black femme experience to show up fully in these conversations. My ears, my sisters, okay, my daughter, my children, my friends, yes, Black women, my heart. I appreciate that. A couple people are bringing their whole selves in here. My soul. This is really good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Somebody's answer got cut off. The Departed. Thank you. Thank y'all so much for participating in this. This was really good. This is just a practice. Again, more grounding to keep us in our why and people are still answering, to keep us in our why for the reasons we created this space, but also the reasons why we have to keep building this space is that we have to bring all of this history with us. We have to bring our present with us. And we also see from all of these things that there's countries and people and organizations that are depending on us
to be whole, to be healed, to build together, to strategize together in ways that reach our whole selves. So thank you all so much for participating in this. Again, and we'll announce it throughout the night, there is a healing space for folks that need it. You can find it on the website, herecomes-the-boom.org. You can also find our marketplace there and more about our agenda. But for now, I'm going to kick it back over to Octavia to continue with the program.
Yes, yes, yes. You know, I feel like everybody in the world should do a survey like that. I was in on that. Which one did you? I'm gonna tell y'all, I was the queer goddess. Just so you know, it was me. But I was so happy to see that we also had mothers. We had people from Nigeria, Martinique, Brooklyn, Haiti. I mean, wow. We got everybody in the building across the globe to celebrate Black women. Wow. And all of you are making this space necessary and this work possible. And just like we can't do this without the grounding of those who have come before us, there are people right here, right now, creating space for us to exist. So we want to do a quick thanks. Well, not a quick thanks. We're going to just do a full thanks because we're not doing anything quick. We're doing it full and intentional for the next 48 hours, 24, 36, whatever. Numbers is really not my thing. Grateful to the FIU Women's Center for their support. And we have a message from Cindy Brewster, who is the Associate Director of the Women's Center, with a little message for us to kick off our next panel. We'll see the video coming on right about now. Y'all, Jasmine has shea butter. She has shea butter, and her skin was looking really, really bright and shiny. Yes, and then you had this little hand situation popping off too that I was very impressed by. I was like, wow, she's really out here knowing how to sell the products. Now, what is the percentage I can get off on this shea butter? Because what I love about shea butter is that you just could take a little 2 joints like that, bow, and you could at least get halfway down the body. Yeah, you can get halfway down the body. So what's the percent? Let me see right here. Let's see. They're offering, let me talk about some of these things that they're offering in the marketplace. So the Chic and Prince is offering 15% off of everybody who's buying tonight. Okay. Beloved Box is offering 10% off with the code BOOM10. And y'all get on there also. Beloved Box is also giving away $25 gift cards. Posted on IG, Twitter, and Facebook with the hashtag Here Comes the Boom, hashtag Beloved Box giveaway, and then they'll pick their winner by the end of the night. But this still is not telling me about this shea butter. Who got the shea butter for right now? It's May Rain. So if y'all know May Rain, she's an amazing poet, amazing person. She also makes candles, and she has the shea butter that causes a fight in my house all the time. So this is real good. I love it head to toe. We keep the bottles on lock. May is not giving any discounts, but support her business. Oh my God. Support her business anyway. It's good. It's so good. This is the Love Again, my other favorite. She has an almond one that's so beautiful. And a lot of those vendors in the shop I've bought from personally. So soaps by Dot. Where May at? Where May at? I might be able to have a little conversation. May, where you know, I'm about to find May out there in these streets. Well, what was the price point on the shea butter? Can you let me know? This is $15. And like you said, it'll last you 6 months, a year. I don't know about a year. I don't know about a year. The elbows. The elbows. That's all you need. That's all you know need. What I'm saying? Okay. All right. So we're not getting a discount on the shea butter. Exactly. I mix mine with cocoa butter because I'm excessive. So I just put all the butters on from head to toe. All of them. Slip and slide Jasmine. That's what we're gonna call you now. That's how much slip and slide. You see my little footprints on the floor from where the shea butter is. Messing up all the mopping. Yeah, that's you the okay. Problem. It's a problem. That's a different level of problematic.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we ready with that video? Because we can send it on in. All right, let's go.
My name is Cindy Brewster. I go by she, her pronouns, and I'm the assistant director for the Women's Center at FIU, where I work in functional areas, serving students and supporting the ways that they are able to matriculate and be best supported during their college experiences. I find that we are often a conduit for Black women at FIU in a lot of different ways. For our undergraduate women, we are a safe space for them. We are a place of employment and sometimes their first job. For the Black women and men that serve as graduate students, we are a haven, right? So when you think about the whiteness and the normativity that perpetuates academia, we are a place in which they can find like-minded people, where they can be affirmed in the work that they do, and where we can disrupt systems that don't support the intersection of their identities. So I think we have proven to be a place that is a harbor for many of the Black students at FIU. For me, growing up in Miami as a young Black girl, I always tell people that there are specific ways that you navigate the world. So even if I'm in New York or if I'm in California, I still move and I still operate as a Black girl because there are just so many societal things that we have to navigate, whether it is the violence that might come towards us, it's the hypersexuality. We're just taught, some would say to our detriment, to move differently. And so I think when you look at the pipeline, by the time Black women get to us at FIU, they've experienced a lot of the things that I mentioned, that hypersexuality, that violence, that lack of being affirmed in academic spaces. And so I think our work in the Women's Center, we are consciously and both unconsciously disrupting some of that work. And we're having to do some learning, but also having to do a lot of unlearning to provide our Black female identified students with the voices that either were silenced, that were the only 2 full-time staff in the Women's Center. She's the director. And I don't mean financial support, I mean, community support. I think we're looking for resources, right? So we are 2 Black women, and leading our department is very rare for us. We understand we're unicorns within the work that we do, but that doesn't mean that we can't get it done. So we are proud to inject our Blackness into spaces within higher ed and student affairs. The Miami Black Women's Forum that we recently did was for us and by us, and we want to continue to not only have you all be involved in that, but we want to support you and provide you with platforms where you will be heard. We want to, as 2 Black girls who are raised in Miami, 2 totally different experiences, but a lot of commonalities. We want to give back to the community that has raised us. And by your support, we can do that. We will see freedom in our lifetime. Here comes the boom.
Evening, everyone. My name is Trinice. I will be your moderator for the panel, Black Women Are Dynamite. At the 2nd biannual Here Comes the Boom Assembly for Black Women and Girls, we have built more joy and outrage across the state of Florida. Hear from a panel of Black women and femmes who have dedicated their lives and their work to uplift Black people by centering the Black femme experience, what's happening in the world, where are we, how we're struggling and how we're building are all up for discussions. Now, we have 5 amazing panelists. One, I would like to welcome Sanchi. Sanchi is an organizer with Black Alliance Justice and Immigration. I would like to also welcome Jeanette Bradley, a community activist over 20 years, experience in human services field, extensive experience as a human resource executive and chief executive for a nonprofit corporation, founder of What We Could Be Exchange Inc. She did this for 2003, a nonprofit organization working through failing schools with children and families in low-income neighborhoods to transform communities. And we also have Jasandra Birdsong, is currently in her second year at Nova Southern University in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She is 18 years old. She has extensive experience in the arts and community organizing. She graduated from Premier Art High School, New World School of Arts in 2019. While there, she choreographed her own work and dance for world-renowned choreographers. She also took action in ensuring that Black students were treated fairly. She is a co-founder of Soul Sisters Leadership Collective. Having joined in 2015 as a member of the Founding Youth Leadership Board, she co-organized numerous political education and healing circles across South Florida, and supported with direct actions like the first ever for Black women in 2017. In 2019, she was a peer leader for the first ever Black Girls Matter Coalition Freedom School Institute. She currently serves as Soul Sisters Youth Community Organizer. She is trained restorative justice circle keeper. Jasandra is passionate about social change and securing the right of Black, Brown, and Indigenous girls and non-binary youth. Our next panelist is Trey John. Trey John is the executive director of Femmes for Life, Chicago. She currently resides in South Florida with her beautiful wife, Foxy. She is co-leader in Dignity, Florida, and the last 2 years have been instrumental in passing sweeping protections for incarcerated women in the state of Florida and in the state of Tennessee with bills such as Dignity for Incarcerated Women and the Tammy Jackson Act. Femmes for Life supports female jailhouse lawyer and also provides post-incarceration care for women, females, veterans, and females identifying members of LGBTQ communities. We also have Cassia, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I am so sorry. Gilliard is an educator, learning facilitator, and impact strategies based in South Florida. Cassia facilitates trainings for organizations dedicated to supporting, retaining, and affirming LGBTQIAP+ persons and people of color. Cassia employs critical race theorems to highlight the nature of systems of oppression to overlap, intersect. Now, we're going to have a lovely panel of conversations. Can we bring on our panels? So the first question that I have, and this is a popcorn style question, any one of my panelists can answer this question. In 2020, where are we as Black women, femmes, those with film experience?
Well, we're in the same place we was, the back of the bus, the back of the train, the last one. We get the least amount of compassion. We get the least amount of equity. We get the least of the least, but we're first. When Black bodies are harmed in the street, Black women are the first ones there. We're the first ones to lay our bodies down, to lay our lives down, to jeopardize our freedom. And once again, the country is dependent upon us to save them. Black women, in ourselves, we are in a better space. But as this country still treats us like the 12th class citizens they've always treated us as.
Yeah, I agree. I think we are in a better place. Well, we are, everybody recognizes the power, but I'm not sure we ourselves recognize the power. But I think we're at a point where there's an opportunity for Black women to really step up and make a difference in this new normal. Everybody's talking about the new normal, but until we decide in all of our individual efforts how to come together and start moving this, we'll be in that same place that Trajan just mentioned. But there's an opportunity right now, and the door is open for Black women to usher in a very new and different place for our children.
Do any of our other panelists want to answer? Jump into that question right there.
Can you hear me? All right. Well, from my experience, I think there has been overwhelming health issues during times of COVID-19 for myself, my loved ones, and the community, especially in the Black and the undocumented communities, including everyone deep concerns of the high cost of health insurance, high cost of living in general. And we also helping the vulnerable Black and immigrant communities in need who are like out of job, especially women and femmes with children, trying to figure it out finances through mutual aid and to help stay afloat. How to stay safe, meanwhile standing up for Black lives, especially for centering Black women, femmes, and children. How to stay strong in my spirit and keeping my faith. Well, what hasn't been there that we have not have to carry such high loads of weight during 2020? Meanwhile, keeping ourselves motivated to move forward. That's where I think I am in 2020.
So how about some of our youth organizers? Like where you guys are at in 2020?
Yeah, so definitely I feel like, and what's been coming up for me is that it's a constant space of rebellion, you know, and rebellion that looks like the natural hair movement, rebellion that looks like Cardi B and, you know what I'm saying, Meg Thee Stallion coming out here with WAP, you know what I'm saying, rebellion that looks like just taking and doing whatever the hell we want to do because like we can do that, you know what I'm saying, and just gaining a freedom that we never really touched, we've never really seen, and just so yeah, I'm thinking a place of like just really wanting to like do what makes us feel good. Like I just see from my peers just a lot of like rejection of just tradition and old ways and thinking of new ways to live and to be, especially in a new age where it's like technology is like social media, so many different influences that just continue to drive us every day. And so I'm just thinking like definitely a state of rebellion and like radical rebellion, not like rebel without a cause. I'm saying like rebellion that's like here for Black women, rebellion that's here to push our stories to the forefront and to be like, yeah, you know what? I am loud. I am here. I am, this is me, it is my voice. So yeah, I think that's where we at.
And what about coming from an educator's perspective of where we're at?
I work in education, and I want to really piggyback off of what Zan said as well. I've tried to have conversations with students about WAP, for example, because I was so disappointed but not surprised at the backlash that came from a lot of men and masculine aligned people to WAP. I remember in particular CeeLo saying it was too much and trying to, you know, negate the progress to me that was made with that song and music video. And I'm just like, didn't you say that you didn't know someone had to be conscious to consent to sex? This is the same person who has something to say about people who are very upfront about their sexuality and consent. And it just disturbed me, because I'm thinking back to even Tupac, who sometimes had feminist leanings, was most of the time disappointed when he had a song where he said, I don't want it if it's that easy. And it's almost like men are accustomed to rejecting consent. That sex has become such a conquest and a conquer that when someone is upfront and saying, I want to have sex with you, I'm turned on for you, this is something I want to do. So I've been trying to approach that conversation. I've definitely started with my own children, and I haven't done so in a professional setting because I'd probably be fired. But when I talk to kids about this, it just always goes back to consent and bodily autonomy. How are we having conversations with students about really what is consent in all ways and in all forms? Really, what is slut shaming in all ways and all forms? And why is that not okay?
Thank you for that. You know what? Because, I'm a mother too, and I have 3 sons. So I like what you said. And, I teach consent all the time, talk about what does consent looks like all the time. So my next question to this panel is, why is this space so important to y'all? And it can start with any one of y'all.
This space is important to me because it was created by us and for us, period. So that's one, period. And it's important to prioritize safety and comfort for people, particularly those that are most susceptible to interpersonal and state violence. Safer spaces don't keep us safe really, but they are an important step toward implementing plans to do so. So it's important to have spaces where one can feel safe in a social climate, provide consent to be in a space, be honest about our needs, and create solutions to support each other.
Well, I want to first say, happy birthday, Trinice girl. Happy birthday, moderator. And this space isn't for the same reasons. This space is important because when talking about women like me, people that identify the way that I do, I'm not accepted in other spaces. I'm not accepted in spaces that are dominantly male driven, because my voice is not respected. My voice is not heard. My voice is not, things like that. So when we have spaces, by Black women and for Black women, sometimes sisters that identify like me, I still have to remind my straight sisters. We still have to, hold us accountable also, because, some of the harshest criticism of Black women, male identifying Black women's sexuality, come from cis identifying Black women. My sisters hurt me more than they hurt me as much as anyone else. But this space is important to me so that I can say this to my sisters, so that when they encounter other young male identifying Black women like me, then they can learn compassion and learn, some self-care, because it hurts a lot more coming from a Black woman. Trauma hurts a lot more coming from a Black woman than it comes from white people, because I know white people gonna hurt me. That's a given. But when it comes from my sisters, it's a different type of pain. So this space is important.
Your guard is down then. When it comes from other Black women, your guard is down. So it hits you like directly in the heart, I'll piggyback off of what Trey said. I think that these spaces are important because there is no progression, there's no Black liberation without the centering of Black women in sin. The progress of the movement by the most vulnerable, not the people at the top. Michelle Obama can't speak for me, Oprah can't speak for me. I'm trying to see what dark-skinned Black women, dark-skinned trans women, people who are sex workers, people who are disabled, people who are living paycheck to paycheck without paycheck, and or at all of the intersections, how are you doing? Because that will tell me where I'm going and how much work we need to do. Those are the people who I need to take my directions from. So if we don't have these spaces that cater to those voices, that lift up those voices, that are leading the movement and giving direction to the movement, then we don't have a movement, because if the movement is inaccessible, then it's not a movement at all. We're just standing still.
Yeah, just straight up piggybacking off of everything that's going on. Affirming y'all in y'all story first off, because definitely holding myself and others accountable in this moment. Like, it definitely happens within spaces where it's supposed to be all of us, you know what I'm saying? And we're supposed to be in sisterhood and camaraderie, and things like that do happen. I just was on a Zoom meeting earlier, just hearing about how, like, within this world of like radicalism and social justice work, there's still always some internal oppression that happens that we do to ourselves. So just acknowledging that. And yeah, I think this space is super duper important because like it don't exist. Like, you know what I mean? It don't exist nowhere else. You got 5,000 role models, you got the Women's March, you got the women's rights movement, all of these spaces that are like, oh, for Black men, oh, for white women. It's like never really the intersection, never really the acknowledgement of like how being a Black woman is an entirely different struggle. And just it, even if it exists, and even if we're like invited to the party, we're like on the outside of the table, not in the middle of it. And so, yeah, it's just very much like it doesn't exist anywhere else. So that's pretty much why I like think that this space is important.
So I guess I would ask, is there a movement, and is there a difference between or a conflict between, let's say, the boomer generation and the all the way through to the millennial? Are we moving together, or is there some fight even within for an effective movement going forward? I'm sorry, I had to ask that because I'm probably the oldest one on this. And I'm thinking, I want to work with you, but I also understand, as you say, I think you said it, Zan, that you just want to do your thing and do it the way that you want to do it and what have you. And my generation might put some limitations on that. So I'm curious about this movement that I believe is really important. I think it's critical. And I think that both sides have to come together in this movement to make it go forward. And I'm talking women, because I do believe that for Black people, it will be led by women. Right. But, you know, am I in conflict with you is what I'm asking, me, my generation.
A lot of times, yes. I think there's always just like an existing intergenerational conflict that happens. The conversations are always, not always, highly likely to be one-sided, whereas the person who is older gets more of a voice. And there have been spaces like with Soul Sisters, what we do. Myself was a co-founder of Soul Sisters, which I got to help create the logo, help create the framework, curriculum for what we're doing. And that's what made the work youth trauma informed instead of just like in general trauma informed. So it's just having the trust in youth to be like, I'm going to put you out here and you're going to say your story because you're an expert in your story. And then also just for you to not always be pushing back on just some sort of guidance and stuff like that. So I think there are conversations that need to be had on both sides with the coming together. But yeah, I do think that there is some sort of like division that's happening just because of like the different upbringing, tradition versus like radicalism and things like that. So there is a current, like, you know what I'm saying, a current, like, I guess, butting of heads. But what I'm saying is the solution to that, I think, is just more intergenerational talk where, you know, both sides get an even amount of time on the podium. So yeah.
So that's, I'm glad we having this type of conversation because that's why Here Come the Boom was created, to bridge those gaps where that we all sectors, all age of women can have that conversation, because the conversation starts from youth to mid youth, to I don't want to say mid youth, but the young adult, to adulthood. So we wanted to bridge that gap, wanted to have those conversations with our youth as they're growing up, as they become an adult, as you become a full adult, right? So thank you, Jeanette, for even opening up that dialogue right there, because that was another question that y'all brought up into this that was well needed. My next question to this panel is, what happens in the world, like Florida locally, impacting Black women since the last time we met in 2018, meaning that the last Here Comes the Boom? What has happened to each of y'all since we last met? Because I know some of y'all 2020.
Well, I wasn't part of 2018 Here Comes the Boom. I literally just moved down here to Florida, but I heard about it, was being a part of. But one thing that I say has happened with Black women in the last 2 years is that literally this country has solidified what we always knew, that this country don't give a damn about Black women. They don't care. They told us with Breonna Taylor that our lives does not matter as much as a wall. Basically it was solidified on that day that the life of Black women don't matter in this country, to this country, unless they are looking to, serve a purpose, win an election, calm our men down, or raise our children right so that our children don't make the police shoot them. You know what I'm saying? Because when our children are killed by the police, it's Black women's fault. But when white women kids go shoot up the school, it's mental health. Those women are never held accountable for what they kids do. But when our kids get beat by the police and killed by the police, it's our fault. It's because we're single mothers and we're welfare queens, and that we, don't love our sons, and we put our Black men out the house. And so they don't talk about that they took our Black men out the house. So over the last 2 years, it's just been engraved so much, and just like they keep trying to tell us we don't matter. So we have to, like it was said earlier, we have to be in a constant state of rebellion. We have to be in a constant state of rebellion. I'm really sorry about talking fast.
No, I just want to give us a time check. We have like 10 more minutes into this, so just letting y'all know I don't want to cut no one off if someone wants to respond. So if someone else wants to respond to my question, please feel free. And then I have another question for y'all to close this section out.
So I'll go. So since 2018, and this is my first actual encounter with this wonderful effort and wonderful organization. But after I left corporate America, if you will, and decided to do my own things and just be who I want to be, I paint, I do art, which I took as a minor in college years ago. And about a year ago, and found one book that just came out. It's called Jumping the Broom by Tyler Perry, not Perry. And that was really thrilling because it was validation that when we do who we are, we shine and we get noticed. We just have to not be afraid to become our natural selves as we go forward, and we have to validate each other, getting to what Trey Johns is saying, validate each other so that as we move forward in our natural gifts and talents, that's what's going to make the change. I think that's what's going to really make the change. So I appreciate this opportunity to share with you guys today.
Well, I would like for each of y'all to say in one sentence, how do you find joy? Just one sentence, because they're going to shut us off. So one sentence, each one of y'all tell us, how do you find joy?
I find joy listening to music and be with my family.
I find joy in the fight for the liberation of Black people.
I find joy in doing absolutely nothing.
I find joy in painting about our people experiences.
I find joy in dancing.
Well, y'all were a lovely panel. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And the saying is, when Black women win, we all win, because Black women are dynamite.
Dynamite.
And tick, 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 boom, dynamite. All right. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Trinice.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Yes. What up, Trey, before you go? How y'all doing? That was dope. I really loved it. I love us. I love Black people. Like, I just really do. I find joy in the experience of being Black. I mean, we say every year that it is important, but those folks just laid it on us, just how important Black women are. Yeah, but we need to hear from some young folks. Always need to hear from our young people. I personally love communicating with our young people, building with our young people. They keep me young, but they also keep me vitalized to keep moving forward in all work that's connected to our people. And also, I think that they've also made me remember what it means to be young, what it means to be free. Yeah, that's a big one right there. Myra, I see you out here. How you doing? You can unmute yourself. How you feeling today?
Kind of good. It was a very good day today. A little rain, but nothing too heavy.
Okay, I like that. It was I don't know why I wouldn't feel like perhaps maybe somebody is not muted. Ebony, if you can mute yourself. Anybody? Thank you. All right, perfect. Because I like my voice, but not that much. So anyway. Oh, back. But so Myra, I'm gonna bring you in. I'm gonna just introduce you now, since it seems as though I'm having a little bit of feedback. And tell us about, right, talk to us. And I'm loving these shoulders too. You're giving me life with these shoulders. Yes, you can unmute yourself.
Introduce myself, or okay. So my name is Myra Pope. I am 18 years old, from Miami, Florida. Currently, I am in college at Grambling State University, starting my undergrad as a freshman. I'm unmuted now.
Now you're unmuted.
Okay, so my name is Myra Pope. I am from Miami, Florida. I am 18 years old. I was a committee leader of the RJ committee with Samantha at Power U for 2 years. I am currently in school at Grambling State University for my undergraduate in psychology. I enjoy singing, writing poetry, stories, and just spending time with myself.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I love that. I feel like you look familiar too. I feel like you look familiar. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
I don't think so. I think that's all, you guys. That's just basic general information about who I am. Oh, and my speech, of course.
There we go. Give it up.
So hello, thank you all for joining this evening. Again, my name is Myra and my pronouns are she and her. I would just like to start off by saying that Black women, girls, trans, and femme-identifying people are one of the most neglected and marginalized groups of people. We have not only led nations and finished wars we didn't start, We also care for and bear children who are oppressed by the people who are supposed to represent us. We are some of the strongest individuals that get the short end of the stick when it comes to things like our health, politics, housing, job opportunities, violence, brutality, and so much more. Here Comes the Boom is an opportunity that young people need to have the courage to speak out and voice their opinions. Concerns, and to know that no matter where you come from or what we have been through, we all share a collective pain and trauma, and us together can put an end to it. As Michelle Obama once said, you may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve all the world's problems at once. But don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own. Now more than ever, it is imperative that we listen to what the youth have to say. The opportunity of a child getting the floor, learning how to express themselves and stand up for what they believe in is slim in the times that we live in now. With a society so strung up on holding on to generational curses, not only is letting youth speak up breaking that chain, but showing youth that we are heard, loved, appreciated, and most of all, taken seriously. It's only so much a closed-minded group of people can accomplish. If I have learned nothing at all, I have learned in the past 2 years, more than ever, working with Power U hands-on, is that sometimes we have to be loud, demanding, determined, and just proud, letting our voices bellow unapologetically in the ears of whoever is willing to listen to us. You don't just sit and wait for change or opportunity to knock at your door. You break through, pushing that change and grasping every opportunity that you can find to better the cause that we are fighting for. Like Maya Angelou said, there is no greater pain than bearing an untold story inside of you. Here comes the boom. If that opportunity, don't let it pass by unheard. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. That just makes me smile because the youth just be holding it down. You know, this is where we find our hope, where we find our accountability. Because our young people will tell you what's up. You know what I mean? They don't got no hair on their tongue. And this world is crazy. We're in an election and there's so many of us that are tired. And we're tired and we've been tired. We were tired before. So whether it's our health, our police violence, or relationships or whatever, right now we're gonna have Trinice. She's gonna lead us in another conversation about joy called Feeling Good, Joy and Liberation in Uncertainty. Because if there's one thing we know how to move through is that. Trinice, where you at, girl? Pretty sure we're gonna pull her up real soon. She got a couple of amazing superstars on there. Hey, Carmen, how you doing?
Hey, so I think I'm actually leading this this panel on feeling good.
I tried to give you a job away.
I think you did. It's okay though.
Okay.
So yeah, in this time of uncertainty and all the craziness of COVID and police global violence, how do we stay happy? I have 5 amazing panelists to have a conversation with tonight. Kayla Lawson from Planned Parenthood. I have Ebony Felton, who is a freshman in iTech and an organizer with Power U. I have Alexa Audit, who is the owner and founder of Queer Migration Law. And I have Tatiana Williams, the co-founder and CEO of a trans inclusion group, TIG, as well as, last but not least, Marie Francois, who is our organizer at Miami Worker Center. So welcome, everybody. I invite you to have this conversation. How do we stay happy? How do we stay happy? Where do we find our joy? Like, I feel like life is hard for everyone. If COVID has taught me anything, is that it's hard for everybody out here. So how are we finding joy?
I'll go. Once again, I am Tatiana Williams, Executive Director for Trans Inclusive Group, which is a trans-led organization located in Broward County, Florida, and we provide direct services to trans and gender nonconforming individuals. That's inclusive to all populations. However, we have a focus on our Black trans folk. For me, how do I find happiness? I think my mother early on wanted to make sure that I stayed grounded and centered. And I think early on, and if for you all that may not know, I am a woman of trans experience. And my mother told me earlier on, it doesn't matter what you do, just be the best at it. And she would always say something to me, and she would always like give me all these affirming love and all of that stuff. And that stayed with me. And for me, I reach back to my roots. I reach back to my family. I go back to my center. And that keeps me grounded. That puts me in a place to where it makes me feel comfortable, because of course, when you think about Black trans women and they're constantly being murdered year after year. So, some of that stuff weighs on you, and an individual like myself that's providing direct services to these individuals, inclusive of emergency assistance, I hear that stuff. So a lot of that weighs on me. So I have to find that center. And then I retreat within my home. I think it's important that you set up your surroundings, that feeds you. I like beautiful things around me. I like the earth. I like a lot of things. So I kind of like center myself around that stuff. And that's how I find my joy.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm getting a message from our interpreters. We should slow down. I know that I speak really fast.
Me too.
but let's be intentional about that. But that's amazing. That's exactly right. I'm wondering. I framed that question a little odd, like how do we find joy? But I'm wondering also, like 2020 has been so chaotic, right? It's so hectic for so many of us. There's been so much loss. But there's also been great moments of joy, great moments of triumph, especially for Black women in the Black experience. What have been for you personally some of your roses and some of your thorns for this year? What are your biggest lessons? And anybody can go.
Some lessons that I've learned throughout these times is finding the little things to be grateful for. And I know there's larger things. There's a lot that a lot of us have to be grateful for, but like paying attention to the little things and being an organizer, the small wins, having to focus on those, because right now, organizing in this climate, it's completely virtual almost. And also people are dealing with so much. Everybody has so much on their plates, and you're trying to bring people into a space that will uplift them and also give them the energy to do the work that we need to combat all this oppression. But sometimes it's hard to pull people into that when we all have 1,000 things pushing us down. So I think focusing on the small things, like let's say we're trying to have some part of the movement and we need some buy-in, and maybe people can't really come out or people aren't feeling it. Sometimes just two people, sometimes just that one person hearing your message or taking action with you, sometimes that's all you really need, because you're planting a seed almost. So it's like that person could be motivated to go then tell so many other people. So just focusing on the small things, I would say, is how I've been finding joy. And that's something good that has been happening for me and that I've been learning from these times.
Okay, for me, in 2020, my tools is health, life, and also when I had to stay home to spend more time with my family. And I am also that's bring joy to me, because when I see my members as an organizer, when I see my members find result when they are applying for help that they need. Some of them who were supposed to be homeless and are for the time being taken care of. Even we don't provide at Miami Workers Center, we don't provide direct services, but we found a way to help them monetarily with the resources that we have.
I'm gonna have to say for me, like one of my roses were like just being able to organize and just build people power and to meet so many people, definitely like during COVID, but definitely just building power with people, getting in communication with people, making sure people's all right. And, just being able to do something and being part of the whole budget process that happened this year in Miami, where I'm from.
I would first, my name is Alex, can pronounce as she, her. I would say for me, my biggest joy during this time has been just how much I've been able to maximize and take advantage of the time that I have in my work. I work a lot with detained immigrants, and to be able to not have to rush because there's not so much going on, and just sit with someone and talk to them and get to know them and not have to limit my visit to like 20-30 minutes. And I guess that has been like the overall theme, like for me throughout, has been just being able to slow down a little bit and really enjoy the time, just making the best of the time that I have. I've also um, I've also found joy in being able to say no, and being able to prioritize my health and myself. And I think a lot of times, especially Black women, are thought to stretch themselves too thin. And I've really, now that there's so much happening, you really have to focus on what's really important. And I've learned to just say no. No, I can't. No, I'm tired. No, I don't feel well. Just no. Just no. In learning that no is enough and no is an acceptable answer. And I found joy in that, in really saying no and setting a boundary for me that makes me happy.
I like that a lot, Alexis. Alex, I'm so sorry. I keep saying that. Yeah, no is a complete sentence. And I think when Black women recognize that no is a complete sentence, that is a point of empowerment, period. I wonder, what stuck out to me with everyone's answer is that we are taking these lemons and making lemonade. Like, we're making the best of our situation and really slowing down and taking our time to take care of ourselves. With that thought in mind, how are we taking care of ourselves? What does self-care look like, and what is bringing us joy in our work, in our organizing? And I would like to start with Miss Marie. Of yourself, and what is bringing you joy?
Okay, I have been doing what I can to take every precaution. I have been wearing a mask and washing my hands, using sanitizer, and also drinking water to stay hydrated. Social distancing, 6 feet away, as CDC recommended. This is what I've been doing.
Okay. That's taking care of yourself, but I mean like deeply self-care. Like, what is your self-care practice? How we, because from what I know from organizing and what I know from being a Black woman is that this work is hard and not sustainable. And self-care, it's something that helps it become sustainable. So how do you take care of how do we take care of ourselves? What is our self-care practice?
Well, it's as a Black woman, I do the best I can. Like, healing is not really easy, especially now. It's not really easy. But Black women always find some kind of way of doing things to stay alive. Like we're still fighting, like fighting every day. It's not really easy. And especially when you have kids, you got family. It's a lot on your shoulders. And also you got other people to think about, like members. You have to taking care of yourself and also thinking about your members. So it's not really easy. It's a lot. But we still dealing with it, and also we do our best. I mean, I do my best. That's what I do.
Absolutely. Alex, how do you take care of yourself? What does your self-care practice look like?
To me, self-care has been a lot of things that I guess seem simple and regular but are not. Has been eating at the dinner table some nights because most for the entire past year, most nights I had dinner at my desk trying to finish something. But lately I've been mindful and really making sure that at least like twice a week I'm sitting at the dinner table. Self-care for me has been keeping in touch with my father, who's extremely sick, and making sure that I talk to him and I cultivate these memories, because it becomes very apparent that in the near future he's not going to be with me. So I create meaningful memories with him, and we go on long drives sometimes. And just recently, what I've started doing with him, and when I was in college, I used to live in various rural parts of Florida, so I started going back to these places with him to show him where I lived, what I did, some other community work that I did in those areas. So taking care of myself in a way has been reconnecting with my true self, to my experiences, being that it seems, I don't know when the ancestors are going to take him, but it seems like for now, he's at his last few months, years, I don't know, but just trying to reconnect with what we have in common, our history, talking about me growing up in Haiti, and talking about Haiti and our culture in a way that is very profound, understanding Haitian culture and norms in a way that's more than what we live every day, and the food and things like that. But why do Haitians do certain things? What colors mean? What cultural, just sayings, and all of these things we've been talking about. And it has been like fuel to my soul to really appreciate and understand my culture and who I am through my parent, but also through his experience and understanding of our shared culture.
Ashe, that's amazing. That is an amazing way to take care of yourself. That's beautiful. Tatiana, how do you take care of yourself? What does your self-care practice look like?
Well, as Black women, we are brought up to take care of family, take care of the household, and run everything. And I often tell people, when I first started doing the work, I was like, before you can do this work, you have to come whole, right? You can't come into this work if you don't have things already set for yourself. Because if you're trying to heal, I say before you can heal someone, you have to heal yourself. So for me, I did a lot of that prior to getting into the work, which is why I felt I was ready to do the work. And, I practice self-care all the time. As I mentioned earlier about me being connected with my family, and I'm fortunate enough to my mother is still alive, so she's able to see the growth within me. And I have a long backstory of where I come from. And I made a concerted effort that all of the energy
that's around me is positive energy. I make sure that my surroundings are, or where they need to be to make sure that that's healing me. I was in a relationship 3 years ago. Well, for 3 years recently, since November. And what I can realize that I learned within myself from that last relationship, thinking about the other relationships, is that I require that. So when I was in that space, I could feel like I was weighed down. And now that I'm in a free space, there's no energies, and I'm able to go to my space and retreat. That's how I take care of myself. And, for me, it may seem like cliche, but shopping is therapeutic to me. It has nothing to do with how much money that I'm spending, but it's a way for me to disconnect and just look at beautiful things. Walking through the store, I can take $100 and be able to walk through the store and come out and feel really good. So those are the things that I do to heal me, working in the community. And it just makes me feel good. Even if I go to Home Goods and get a beautiful candle, come home, burn it. That's good. So it's just the small things, as Alex was saying earlier, and it's the small things that matter for me. And just loving on me, just loving on me. This is how I do it. And that brings joy to me. That's what I do.
That part, that's so amazing. That I'm hearing you say that and I'm hearing everyone say that we can't pour from empty cups, right? That we have to really step in and fulfill ourselves to really take care of ourselves and do this work. So Kayla, how do you take care of yourself? What is your self-care practice? I want to hear from everyone, obviously. So prepare yourself.
Yeah, I would say for me, it's a part of what Tatiana said. Sometimes just what we think is like the small things, like maybe I really like sweets. I love chocolate. So if I was like, tonight I just want ice cream and I just got myself some ice cream, it sounds so simple, but putting yourself first a lot of times is just, what do I want right now? No thinking about it, just do it. So sometimes carving time out to make sure that I do that for myself. And a friend gave me some advice once, saying that a good way of self-care is planning out your perfect day and then just doing it. And if you don't have the time to do that, then plan out your perfect day and take parts of that day and incorporating it in your week. And I was just like, what a beautiful way to actually plan it out. So I really liked that. So I've been trying to do that. It's a little difficult because sometimes our headspace is just everywhere and we're not actually taking the time to sit with ourselves and just be like, what do I want? How do I feel? What am I thinking right now? How did I feel about today? Why didn't I like it? Not really talking to ourselves. So I've been trying to take some time to do that too and reflect. Also, I would say, even though social media can be not so great for self-care, Twitter and TikTok have been helping me make it through. And I would say that social media can actually be very helpful if you're doing social media tailoring, you're changing your timeline to only show maybe I like to follow a lot of historians on Twitter, Black women historians, any marginalized group that has historians and has advocates, I want to follow them because their content teaches you so much. And it's passively teaching you because I might have just went on Twitter to just scroll and look at some stuff and oh, boom, here I see a whole thread about something that I've never heard before. So I think I really like to learn and stuff. So I think social media tailoring, saying no, somebody said that earlier and I'm standing by that and I'm just now learning how to do that. And being nice to myself. Sometimes we're our harshest critics and we're the hardest on ourselves. And we have to realize that not everybody is thinking about us the way that we're thinking about us. Nobody is over here worried about if my edges was looking crazy yesterday. Nobody in Publix cares. So remembering to just be nice to yourself and just give yourself what you deserve. And journaling.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have such a resource list of how we take care of ourselves. Ebony, I need to know. I have to know. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. I need to know how you take care of yourself.
Well, lately I've been taking care of myself by just exercising and also keeping in communication with my friends and family. And, definitely like talking out my problems and making sure like what's I have on my shoulders is lifted by, expressing how I feel with people who's close to me. Definitely due to COVID, it's like I think it's important to keep in touch with people who you love and who is important to you. Because, they feed your spirit and they fill your cup.
That's amazing. That's amazing, and it's amazing that you are. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's amazing that you have such wisdom, and we all have such wisdom. Like together, we know a lot. Like by ourselves, we don't know it all. And especially when it comes to this topic of how we pour into ourselves and how we take care of ourselves. I'm a doula. I help women process and transition into childbirth, right? So I get this. I tell my mothers all the time that if mama drops as the head of the household, everybody drops. So the ideas that you all are expressing on how you take care of yourself is so very important. And that brings me to my next idea, which is what gives us hope. So now that we've taken care of ourselves, what is the thing that's continuing to drive our work? What is the thing that picks us up in the morning, that makes us know that we can do this and that what we're doing is making a difference? Again, well, let's go in the reverse order. Can we start with Ebony?
So what gives me hope? I guess what gives me hope in the work I do is the people I meet, and like seeing so many people in my age group who wants to educate themselves and just learn more about the social issues just happening around them. I feel like it's good to see like young people, look around them and question what they see and, question the system. So definitely. And try to make changes about it as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kayla, what's giving you hope? What's helping you do this work and stay grounded in it?
It's honestly such a tough question because some days are so much better than others, and sometimes you're really lucky to find that hope. And what I would say is I'm a copy of Ebony's answer because her generation is giving me hope too. It's her people that when I see them, it's almost like they're just like breathing like just fresh ideas and fresh eyes and just coming into this work with so much passion and so much like eagerness to learn. And it feels so weird to be saying that because I feel like I'm still kind of in that space, I guess. But I'm gonna say there's definitely I'm still in the Gen Z, I guess. I don't like to claim it though, but I would say just seeing people kind of like seeing, it's almost like we get to witness the radicalizing of people like right now, like, and it's not just the young people either. There's people of all ages that are kind of just now realizing the situation that we're in. And I think that has been like, oh, like there's more people that want to get involved. There's more people that are trying to do this. Like, this is really cool. So I think seeing that has given me hope. When Angela Davis said she was excited, that gave me an electric shock. I was like, oh wait, okay, maybe I can do this phone bank tomorrow, because so many times we're just like, here I go, putting in more work to the same old thing, and I'm not seeing what I want to see. So it's been having to find like small moments of hope, and then seeing the wins too. There have been so many wins, and I know specifically there was pretty anti-reproductive reproductive rights and health legislator that is not going to have their seat this year. And that was really cool to just witness happen. And to a lot of other people that might not be in the like really understanding what's happening with reproductive rights in Florida, it might not have seemed like a big deal, but seeing that happen and seeing multiple people lose their seat from the primaries from then. So I was really excited to see that. and see some change in the Florida legislature, even on the Democrat side. So I'm excited for that. And those are some of the things that have been giving me hope.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And thank you for sharing those wins with us. Those little things give us all hope. Tatiana, what is giving you hope? How do you do this? How do you continue to do this work?
Well, what gives me hope is that for me, I transitioned over 30 years ago, right? And me transitioning back then was something totally different than what we see today. So for me, I'm able to pull from and I can see that being optimistic, although it may not come like we want it, but eventually it gets here. I think about me sitting here. This is my first time on the boom, and I'm about intersection work. And I'm looking at the way as it relates to women like myself being involved in these conversations. It shows me that things are evolving. We are growing as a country, as a people. So all of this gives me hope. All of this feeds my soul because I'm able to leave something and be able to put something in someone else that they can continue the work. So if I don't get to see what this beautiful world may become, but if I was able to give something to someone and give them the tools to do what they need to do to carry that torch, that is what gives me hope. I try not to live so much in some of all of the stuff that's happening in our world, which goes back to healing, which goes back to keeping some of that negative energy from around. And I try and look at the positive. And when I'm looking at things that are happening and resources that are being allocated to my population that I serve, that shows me that someone is listening, that there is hope, and that one day we will get there. It may not be exactly like we want it, but eventually we will get there. So I'm just thankful to still be here, given the fact that where I come from, which is a very dark place, and the things that I had to do in order to survive. And I'm standing here, in a position to where I can see it could have been worse. That in itself keeps me driving. And that's why I want to give to someone and to the people I serve that something was given to me and someone having that faith and giving me that opportunity. So someone had the hope to see me and I want to do the same for someone else. So that's what gives me hope.
That's amazing and transformative, and it reminds me yet again how resilient Black women are. We are resilient across the board. What gives you hope?
I think for me, what has brought me the most hope is seeing Black women and seeing Black queer women, Black immigrant women just take up the space that once and not asking anymore, looking at, the recent elections, what the ballot looked like throughout the state of Florida, what the victories look like for the House, to have a first Black queer woman representative, to see community organizers being elected to the House brings me a lot of hope, because even as somebody who has organized for a while in the US and even back home, community organizers will always start to align themselves with a politician who may or may not listen to you because they're nice. And to see this new wave of politicians who are like, well, we're gonna do both. We're gonna organize the community and run for the seat and present our policies and take over, because we are tired of asking for favors. We are bringing the knowledge, we're bringing the right policies, we know what is right, and we don't need somebody to say it for us, we'll say it ourselves. So that has brought me a lot of hope as someone who for a long time and has always understood and coming from organizing in a country where there's a lot of policies that are that work to oppress people. I always understood the power of lawmaking, and to see young people, Black queer people, Black immigrant people put themselves right at the center of politics rather than on the sidelines has been amazing. It has been amazing. I'm excited to see all the beautiful, wonderful Black queer people, especially the Black queer women, you know, taking over. The time is now, and it's exciting.
Hearing you speak about what gives you hope gives me hope. Like it's and what it reminds me of is the fire, the hope that is in the fire of Black women centering ourselves. And that is the way that we come away from colonization, is we recenter ourselves and decenter whiteness. My elder, Mama Marie, what gives you hope? I need to know, like, I got to know what gives you hope. Y'all are filling me up right now. You're on mute, Mama. You're on mute.
As an organizer, I think if we come together, we organize, and also I'm a very positive person. I always be optimistic also. So if we can, if we keep organizing, put our hands together, everything it's possible. Nothing is impossible when we come together, especially the Black women. And also now, what gives me hope, I see so many Black people go vote. Before, they don't think the voting was counting, but now you can see how far are we, and we're not there yet. You know, that gives me a lot of hope. And also when I see on my organization, we are not a direct organization, but when I see my members receiving help, assistance, that gives me hope. There is a lot we can do as a Black woman. I think I don't know how to explain it, but together we can do a lot. We can do it because we came too far. We here. We can do it. We have to do it. So that gives me a lot of hope when I see kids taking everything seriously now. Before they think it was a joke, but now they take it so serious. So that gives me a lot of hope.
That is amazing. That is amazing. We only have a few more minutes to close it out. I have one more question, and it's a hard question, but I think that we can get through it quickly, and like it's hard to answer quickly, but I think that we can, because I have faith in us. When Black women put our minds together and we pray together, we move mountains. Anything can happen. Boom, right? Boom. So my question is, what's at stake if we don't find our joy? What's gonna happen if we're not able to cultivate this joy that we are clearly able to do, because we clearly expressed how we're doing it. We did that. But yeah, Mama, tell me, what happens? What happens if we don't cultivate a joy?
Okay, if we don't cultivate our joy, we stand to lose it. Simple.
That's simple. Alex, what do you think? What happens if we don't cultivate our joy?
You know, as a fat queer Black woman, our joy is our resistance. So if we don't cultivate our joy, then white supremacy wins. Then all of the societal ills win, because our joy is our resistance. We are designed. The system is designed to see us fail, and us thriving is us crushing the system. So our joy is everything.
Facts. Kayla.
Our joy is our energy source, I would say. So without that, I think everything is at stake, because if you can't find the moments of joy, that happiness that's going to fuel you to keep going and fuel you to pull others in to keep going, then it's a wrap.
Facts. Ebony.
In the work of organizing, it's really easy to get discouraged and to struggle to build community and people power. And so what's at stake when we don't cultivate our joy? That's our motivation to continue. Because, organizing, when we don't cultivate our joy, we lose our motivation to push through our obstacles that come our way. And with our motivation that we get through joy, we're able to be better as people and as organizers.
Brilliant. Tatiana.
Will be defeated. And I like to say, if you, that's what, so we have to make sure that we continue to make some deposits as well, because we can't keep withdrawing. We'll be defeated eventually.
Absolutely. And yet again, y'all are a prime example of how Black women are dynamite. And like I said, you're a genius, because that's a hard question to answer in one word. And everybody did it because we're genius. Again, Black women are dynamite. Don't mess with dynamite, because when you mess with dynamite, it goes tick, 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 boom. Dynamite. Thank you guys. You were amazing. I super appreciate you. I'm going to kick it back over to Octavia. And thank you again. Thank you. I have so much gratitude. Thank you for sharing your joy with me.
Thank you.
Wow, that just gave me so much joy. So much joy. At first, I was going to quote our elder in the building, but I also just loved what she forgot about the ticks. She just said boom, 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 boom. And I think that is extremely indicative of where we are right now. I don't even know. I think the ticks are gone. I think we just got the boom. And she said, we can do it. We have to do it. That was amazing. And this was amazing beginning. Tomorrow, I hope I see all of you there. I'm going to be there. You already know. And I'm excited about it. I want to just say one last thing before y'all go, before I pass it over to Santra, to make sure you go to herecomes.theboom.org and check out the wellness care. We're just talking about wellness. Also, make sure you check out the marketplace. We're talking about support. We're talking about how to show up for one another and for ourselves. And the beautiful thing about the marketplace and the wellness room is that you're doing both things at the same damn time. Santra, let's go. Where you at? We're about to transition and close out for the rest of our evening. Thank you to everybody. Hey, Santra.
Hi, everyone.
Good to see you.
So good to see you. Thank you so much, Octavia. You are an amazing host, and we so appreciate you for being here with us on this 2020 Here Comes the Boom virtual edition. I would be remiss if I didn't thank our sponsors, Organized Florida, Miami Workers Center, of course, Soul Sisters Leadership Collective, The Rising Tide, South Florida People of Color, Florida Immigrant Coalition, Latina Institute for Reproductive Justice, Florida, New Florida Majority, Florida for All Education Fund, Women's March Florida, Power Youth Center for Social Change, the Florida Alliance of Planned Parenthoods, Catalyst Miami, ACLU, FIU Women's Center, and there's so many more that came and stood by us and made sure that this event was possible. But it doesn't end today. We have so much more to offer. We want to take up space and to center Black women and Femmes for amazing things that they're doing and what we mean to this country. Also want to lift up the names of the folks who serve on our committee. This would not be possible with them. And I think it's important to say their names. To our interpreters, DJ Riri, Wakumi, Ruth, Myra, Jasmine, Sharika, Giselle Izebe, Kayla, Chiro, Marie, Charlia, Trinice, Gracie, Francie, Alicia, Carrie, Corin, Logan, Leanne, Issa, Sabrina, Samantha, Paula, and everyone who made this possible, who've been with this since day one, even before I became a part of the Miami Workers Center. I'm so grateful for you all, and I'm excited for what's going to come on day two. You all, we were made to lead for a time like this. And I'm just speechless for the amazingness that happened today. Y'all, there's so much work to do, but we also need to take time to take care of ourselves, to love on one another, and to experience joy. We will see freedom in our lifetime. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. I don't know if Octavia is coming back up. That's all I have for you all. Check out the website. Check out all our vendors. Maybe DJ Riri will come and drop some music. Octavia, come on back. And again, thank you so much. And I especially want to shout out Jasmine, who facilitated this space for us. We couldn't have done it without you and Shariko's leading production. And to my guys, for sure you have to have your allies, MC Image Productions, who's holding us down as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandra. And so, yes. And so let it be. Please make sure to be back in the building with myself, with DJ Riri, and the amazing amount of people that we have gracing our stage. This was just the beginning. Tomorrow we start at 1. Please pull up. It's going to be an amazing day. Right now, y'all have an amazing night. Y'all got me wanting some Caribbean food and some, some beer, some Chelvestas or something. So, Octavia out, y'all. Tick, 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 boom.